Hey friends, welcome to Rooted and Grounded. I just wanted to take a minute to introduce myself to you and just kind of tell you what to expect from this page. So my name is Santtanna. I'm 34. I'm a wife and a mom. I've been married to my husband for almost 16 years, though we are getting ready to celebrate 20 years of being together. To me, that's important. I would have married that boy 20 years ago, but it was frowned upon at 14 to marry. But we have 4 kids together, 2 boys and 2 girls. Our girls are our oldest and our youngest, with our boys right in the middle. We are quickly approaching a new season of life as we no longer have toddlers and babies and young, small, pre-K, early childhood children. Our youngest is 8 and our oldest is getting ready to be 17. Our 2 boys are 12 and 10, and so we're quickly approaching preteen years with them. We're in the preteen age with one of them and quickly getting there with the other. And so we're kind of transitioning into a new season of life over here. And I just kind of wanted to document that and share our life story with you in hopes that maybe it helps you feel a little more connected and not so alone. So here we're going to show the real raw moments of life, the moments that most people don't like to show. I'm all for aesthetic and beauty, but I believe that there can be beauty found even in the most chaotic of situations and everyday life. I would have given anything back when my kids were smaller to have had someone that showed me, no girl, like my house is also a mess and my kids are also driving me crazy, and it's okay to feel overwhelmed and stressed about bills and about life. And my marriage also goes through seasons of highs and lows, and it has struggled, and you're not alone. And I didn't have that. I've never been much of a people person per se. Making friends is not a forte that I seem to have. I have a few close friends and I cherish them deeply, but for the most part, friendships are rare for me. And being vulnerable is rarer because vulnerability requires you to be willing to put yourself out there, and that's not something I've ever been willing to do. About 6 years ago in 2020, I kind of felt the leading of the Lord to kind of share our family story. And at that time, we were going through all kinds of crazy things. I mean, the world was in a giant pandemic, and at that time, we were getting ready to buy our first home, and our kids were coming home for distance learning, and there was just a lot going on. And I lacked then the idea of what I was supposed to fully do. I mean, I felt God placing that dream or planting that seed in my heart, but it was not something that I was fully ready to see into fruition. We started homeschooling our kids about 3 years ago, and that was another season or another calling that God kind of placed in my heart. And I hate to admit it, but I tend to be one who questions when I feel that leading. I wish I could sit here and say that I have full confidence and faith that what I hear from God is what I'm hearing from God, but I don't. I often question and have self-doubt, like probably most of you do. So 3 years ago, when I felt the leading of the Lord to homeschool, that wasn't the first leading. God had been calling us to homeschool our kids since 2021. And I pushed it off until 2023. It was something that I just didn't feel confident in doing. It required sacrifice that I just wasn't sure if I was capable of doing. And with this page, I have felt this seed be planted 6 years ago, and have said numerous times to close friends and even to my husband that I really feel the leading to share our life, but then would put it off or just ignore it. Even this, my husband has pushed me and pushed me and pushed me for the last month to do what I was being told to do. Our old pastor used to say something that really stuck out to me, and is what fully made me take that final step into homeschooling our kids. Was delayed obedience to what God is calling you to do is disobedience. And that hit hard when I first heard that. And I thought, like, please stop preaching this. I know that this message is for me and I know I need to hear it, but please stop. Because again, I wasn't ready for that kind of commitment and vulnerability and sacrifice and stuff. And so it's easy to put off those things when you're struggling with them. Even here, I could find a million reasons to not share this and to put it off and just hide it in the depths and pretend it never existed. But I want to be faithful into what God is calling me to do, because I want to share what God is doing in our family and just share an everyday family with someone. Even if it's one person that feels more connected by this, I want to share that with them. Now, what you won't find here is picture perfect moments. You're going to see my kids. We debated really hard about what we were going to do as far as that goes with the kids, because I do believe in protecting them and not embarrassing them, as, being cautious of their lives. But upon praying about it and talking about it with my husband, we both kind of agreed, I don't want my kids to feel like this, that they come second to this. I don't want my kids to think that when a camera is out, they can't approach me and talk to me. I will never force my children to be in anything. If they express to me that they don't want to be a part of it, they don't have to be a part of it. I will not film them. I will not show them in any way. And I will probably still go to lengths to not show them as often, or to kind of conceal them a little more. But I want them to feel like they're a part of this, because they are. They are my family. They are my children, and they play such a big and pivotal role in my family and in my life. And same with my husband. My husband has his own YouTube channel, which I recommend you check out if you're interested in smoking pipes or tobaccos of any kind. If you're interested in learning about new pipes and different tobacco blends, I recommend checking his page out. I've been on a couple of his videos there, though I don't often say much and feel awkward being in them, because I don't want to overstep what he is doing. But his page is called The Off-Duty Pipe, and he mostly took this step because he was feeling kind of led to wanting to do something and to share a hobby that he's very interested in, that is kind of a more old school hobby that not very many people are a part of. Excuse me. And he wanted to show that. And also to kind of encourage me to do what I've been putting off. And so he will also be a part of my page. He's my husband, and he's my best friend, and the person I spend the most amount of time with is him and my kids. And so that's largely what you'll see here, is everyday life and non-curated moments. And you're going to see us walk through those, and clinging to God and staying rooted in His truth and grounded in faith and a confidence that I'm trying to gain and trusting of the Lord. I would say that you don't have to be a Christian to be here. I hope that you stay, even if you're not. God will be heavily in these videos just because He's heavy in our lives and in our family. But I want this page to be for everybody, and I want everyone to feel that, every woman to feel that they have someone out there who's like them. I don't live in an aesthetic home. The lighting in here is awful, and you might notice I'm in my bedroom, and I'm in here right now because I'm trying to film this, but my kids are also awake. And so I don't want to be out there and then be super crazy loud as we're trying to do this one. So, you're going to see the imperfect flaws here. My home isn't always clean. I wish it was. I am, I wouldn't say a perfectionist per se, or a neat freak per se, but I like things in order, and visual clutter stresses me out. That's a double-edged sword for me also, because while visual clutter stresses me out, I really struggle with object permanence. And so once something is no longer in my sight line, I forget it ever existed. So that's fun. But you'll see clutter around my house. You will see my house probably not at its worst, but definitely not at its best. And I enjoy cooking, somewhat. I really consider that more of an obligation. I'm a person who can find somewhat of enjoyment in cooking, but is not like my. It doesn't just like bring incredible joy to my life. I do it because it's a necessity. I have to cook dinner and make meals. I do like baking, and that is something that you'll probably see here. I try to do things from scratch, and I'm learning more and more on that. We homeschool, though I probably won't show too crazy into their homeschool, just because that can be a little bit more of a distraction, and I want that to be more of a, hey, this is a non-distracted zone, and like we're gonna stay level here. But I will show you a glimpse of that, and definitely will be telling you when it's hard, because it is hard, and it can feel very lonely and isolating as well. My homestead-ish. I'm a homesteader-ish. Heavy on the ish. We have backyard chickens, like I said, and I attempted a garden 2 years ago. What that accounts for, I don't know, but I would like to continue to garden or try. So I'll probably just bring you along and trying to figure out that, as well as just the everyday ebbs and flows of life. A couple things that will be happening here before long is my husband and I are going to be celebrating our 20 years together, which to me is a big deal. I come from a family riddled with divorce and, broken homes, I guess, for a better lack of, I never say that sentence right, for a lack of better words. I grew up in a single parent home with a sort of a stepdad, and it was a chaotic situation. Anyway, so it's a big deal to me to be able to celebrate 20 years of being with my husband. And, has it been perfect and easy? No, but we're getting through it every day with the grace of God, and I'm proud of that. My daughter is getting ready to turn 17, which feels so weird because that's the age I was when I had her. She was born when I was 17. I was a junior in high school. I did graduate high school by the help of so many wonderful people that I will forever be grateful for. But I was a young mom, a teen mom. I had her at 17. So it's a little weird that she's in her junior year of high school and she's getting ready to turn 17. And it's weird to have a child going into young adulthood and still be raising smaller children. There's about a 4 to 5 year gap between her and our second child, our oldest son, who just turned 12, and so he's getting ready to go as he's venturing into preteens and here soon. And then in April, my husband and I are going on a trip. We're going to Florida to go on our very first cruise. We're going on a Disney cruise. We've never done anything like that. This is just him and I, which is something that we've been trying to do more of, and prioritizing our relationship, and realizing that like soon our kids are going to be adults and gone, and we don't want to miss out on life while we have it now. And so we're doing that in April, so videos will be coming from that. Just everyday homeschool life as we venture that. We're currently in the throes of a car issue right now, that I actually have to take our car back to the shop today to get worked on or looked at, to potentially get worked on. And so there's just little things like that. What you probably won't see here is a lot of crazy spending or trips or whatever. We do try to do things like that in moderation, but we For a long time, I've been a single income family. Over the last 3 years now, I've been working part time for our church, which has been a huge blessing to us. And so I clean there, and you'll probably see some videos from my cleaning there, with probably just voiceovers or whatever. I don't really know, as far as that goes. But the point of this page, more or less, is just to share life and to connect and to help even one person not feel like they're alone. So thank you for your time. I know how valuable that is, because I know how valuable my time is, because those rare moments of peace and quietness when you have children or you have a home to run or a job to do, those feel so few and far between. So I thank you for spending this time with me. I hope that you come back, and I encourage you to come back. Feel free to share comments with me and tell me about yourself. I would love to do that. I want to build a community of women and friendships of women who are in the same seasons of life as me, or if you're in a different season and you feel like you could pour into me or let me pour into you. I encourage you to come back, though. So I thank you again for your time. And my hope and prayer for this is that you feel connected and seen and not alone on this journey that we call life. So until next time, stay rooted in God's truth and in who you are, and stay grounded in grace, knowing that you don't have to have it all together. And that's what life is, not having it all together. Because who among us has it all together all the time? But I thank you. And until next time, I bless you.